Hey, this is Brian again, and I'd like to ask you to do a favor. We can't do this work without people like you, so if you can, please like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about Bring Back the Porch.
And why would people pick these for their backyards?
Okay, Colorado blues are exceptionally hardy. The deer more or less will leave them alone. They're a little bit prickly. If I see a pungens, actually means prickly needle. So they're a good choice for just being hardy and low maintenance.
Okay.
They do grow fast. They're pretty indestructible.
This episode of Bring Back the Porch brought to you by Bernie Leahy, River Street Realty. Let's get you home.
Hi, welcome to Bring Back the Porch. Today we are on location at Rivendell Tree Farm. I'm here with owner-operator Dylan Lafferty. Dylan, welcome to the porch.
Hi, Ina.
How are you today?
Welcome to Rivendell Tree Farm.
Thank you very much. So today Dylan has offered to kind of give us a tour of the tree farm. We're so fortunate in Medicine Hat to have such a lovely tree farm, but I think it is a kind of little secret to a lot of people. So we're going to make sure that you get a lot of exposure today.
Thanks,
How's that
Ina.
sound?
Thank you.
Pretty good?
Thank you.
All right. So let's start with like this beautiful tree right here.
Okay, so we're in a couple blocks of Colorado blue spruce. Colorado blue spruce can be green or they can be blue. It's just genetics, blonde hair, brown hair in people. So this one is very nice with bright blue. We're going to actually put this tree in our arboretum. But the one behind it is green. So this tree is, we start selling them at 200 centimeters, about 6.5 feet, and it will be that after it buds out. So this tree is ready to go. We've been growing this particular tree for about 5 years, and it's pretty much perfect in every way. We try to shape them so that they have nice bushy form and everything's symmetrical. Sometimes the trees need a little bit more help than others, but this one's just perfect.
Okay, what do you mean by arboretum? What's that?
So on the other side of the nursery, we have specimens of each tree that we grow.
Yeah.
And they'll be there permanently. So when you come to pick a tree, you can walk through the arboretum. An arboretum is a zoo for trees, essentially.
Okay.
You can walk through the arboretum and see the trees in their maturity, nicely pruned and proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Pick
then you
out
can,
which one you want, sort of
and then
thing.
you have an idea. Because to be honest, a lot of people don't really know a lot about different tree species, so that will help them.
And so how many tree species do you have here?
That's a good question. This year we dug 79 different species, so 79 are available for sale.
Okay.
But there's a lot more. Counting the potted stock, there's well over 100.
Oh, wow.
Well over 100.
Okay.
The arboretum, I think we're up over 45 trees in the arboretum now.
Okay. So how big, when you start these, how big are they?
Okay, well, the prairies in general are very hard on conifers. So we learned the hard way. If you plant a little seedling, they just desiccate over the winter, they dry out. Those trees evolve to be covered in snow over the winter. We don't get enough snow, so it's really hard on them. So we start our trees about this tall.
Okay.
They come in a number 5 pot, just
Like
a
that
little
one
bit,
right
a
there?
little bit taller than that little guy there.
Okay.
If you start smaller than that, they won't do well over the winter.
Okay. Awesome. And there's no difference between the gray or the green, just the color
Same species, just again, genetic variation in the coloring.
and what people want.
Some people like the blue, some people prefer the green.
Yeah.
Some people it doesn't matter, it's preference. In some yards we go green, blue. We've done all kinds of things. I prefer the green ones myself, but the Colorado blue is one of the few that offers a blue hue or tone to the color, so they are nice. Most of them are green. Most conifers are green.
And why would people pick these for their backyards?
Okay, Colorado blues are exceptionally hardy. The deer more or less will leave them alone. They're a little bit prickly. If I see a pungens, actually means prickly needle. So they're a good choice for just being hardy and low maintenance.
Okay.
They do grow fast. They're pretty indestructible.
And how tall will they get?
They get very tall. Very tall. If you think Dunmore Road around the mall, Moxies, those are all Colorado blue spruce in there, and they're quite tall and still growing.
Okay.
Taller than most people will want them in their yards in
Oh.
60, 80 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is like their life long would be like,
I would expect over 100 years.
oh wow.
Yeah, if they're
Okay.
taken care of
Okay.
and they have an adequate space to grow in.
And taking care of means water?
Watered. Yeah. Usually if a tree is watered, it'll do well. If the yard is neglected, they'll go into decline.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, we see it quite a bit.
And any kind of pests that you would have to worry about with these ones?
There are some bugs that get into them. It's usually not a problem. What it is becoming more of a problem. There are beetles that are starting to show up in Medicine Hat that we've actually seen. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it for myself, but generally speaking, they're fairly resilient.
Okay.
They're good trees.
Okay. And what size do you like to move them at? Or does it matter? Like,
Okay,
is there...
so that he's a little bit small. So like 200 centimeters, so 6.5 feet.
Okay.
These trees are usually sold by the foot. So this one he's just a little slender. He needs to fill out some more, but next year he'll be ready to go.
Ready to go. Yeah.
This tree up ahead, this is a Norway spruce. So the Colorado blue spruce is native to North America. The Norway spruce is from Northern Europe, hence the name. So a little bit softer. They're almost identical, really, but there are subtle differences. This one's plenty big enough to sell.
Yeah.
He's more like, he's over 9 feet already, so that's a very nice tree. You can always spot a Norway spruce because it has great big pine cones.
Yeah.
Quite large
Like
pine
large.
cones. Yeah.
He's really pretty. What is he again?
Norway spruce. Yeah, they look really nice when they're just starting to bud out.
And so how big will he, like just as big as the...
Just as big, yeah.
Yeah.
They get monstrous. In front of St. Joseph's home, there's, on the left side,
yeah.
there's 3 really nice Norway spruce.
Yeah.
And then, well, back over here, this is a pine tree. We can just walk through
Yeah.
here. This is a ponderosa pine.
Yeah.
So these are also quite common in Medicine Hat. You see them
Yeah.
everywhere. So the ponderosa pine is very hardy. They're very beautiful. You can often point them out when they're mature and large because they have a very orange looking bark. The deer, if the winter is rough, they will browse on them, believe it or not, but it is a problem. So when they're young, if you have lots of deer, it's a good idea to fence them in the winter.
Yeah.
Because they will get at them.
And
Okay.
these look like they take up a lot of space, do they? Like, will they...
They're very similar. They're very similar.
To the...
So these trees, just for comparison, this is a Colorado blue again, although it's green. And these trees were planted at the same time. So
Oh, wow.
they grow about the same speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar.
And again, water basically for maintenance?
Yes. Water, that's really it. It's best if you can keep the grass away from the bottom of the tree. If you can mulch around the bottom, that's
Yeah.
always best for the tree.
Yeah.
That's how trees evolve. That's what they prefer. Once they get larger and established and you're happy with the size, if you let the grass grow underneath them, that's fine. The acidity from the pine needles will slowly start to push back the grass.
Yeah.
You can treat that with dolomite lime, but mulch is definitely best.
Okay.
Rocks are not the best, but lots of people
lots
do
of
it,
people use them,
and
yeah.
you can get away with it. But from the tree's perspective, it's not the nicest way of doing things.
Okay. And what about, when people are fertilizing their plants and lawn, fertilizer hurts, doesn't hurt, it's okay?
Okay, so in general, anywhere in southeastern Alberta, we have good soil. There's nothing wrong with our soil. You don't need to fertilize. If you want to push the tree along and get more growth extension, like get more growth every year, fertilizer isn't a bad idea. It's impossible to know exactly what you need unless you get a soil test done, Ina. So, like we have designer boutique fertilizers with micronutrients, but a general starting place is a small dose of Miracle Grow for trees.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Even a little bit of nitrogen around the base of the tree, the same nitrogen that you fertilize your grass with, will help the tree grow along. And you can tell a tree's health like this by this bud extension from last year. So that's over 6 inches. Same here.
Yeah.
So if you only have a little bit of growth, it's lacking water and nitrogen.
So how many trees do you decide to bring in of each species?
Let's pause for a moment so we can share some exciting news. We're proud to announce that our work here at Bring Back the Porch is getting noticed. From October to the end of January, our videos and reels viewed more than 1 million times. Some of those viewers could be your customers, so sponsoring Bring Back the Porch is a great way to get your message in front of them too. If you'd like to support our work here at Bring Back the Porch, we ask you to go to our website at bringbacktheporch.com and follow the links. Thank you for your support.
Okay, so those numbers are based on what we sell and what's popular and what we're short on. So at this point in the farm, it's really a matter of economics, what we can afford. So I'd like to fill up the entire farm with trees, but it is very expensive to buy that stock. So we see what people like, what people are buying from the previous year. Like at the end of the fall, I guess we'll count all our trees and analyze what we've done for numbers and then plan ahead for the next year. But it's kind of complicated because you're really planning for 5 years down the road.
Right.
So it's tricky.
Yeah.
But what people plant in the Medicine Hat area is all pretty similar from year to year. Like the Colorado blue spruces are a staple.
So a tree farm in southern Alberta is going to look different than a tree farm somewhere else. So when you're purchasing trees, you're purchasing them based on like how well they do in wind and drought and...
Yes. Medicine Hat, our winters are a little bit more mild than the rest of Alberta and parts of Saskatchewan, so we can get away with some exotic stuff, but generally speaking, the prairies are very much the same. For example, we can grow black walnuts in Medicine Hat and Lethbridge. They don't do so well in Calgary or Edmonton, not all the time.
Okay.
But here they do very well.
Yeah.
So there are exceptions. We have ginkgos growing at the farm that do very well. They don't grow anywhere else in Alberta. Like maybe you can get away with one or two, but here they do just fine.
Okay.
So they call us a Zone 4B now. That's recently.
Used to be, right, Zone 3.
Yes, correct. So we're pushing the limits. We have tulip trees that are wintering here. Those are Zone 5 trees all day long, but yet they can do just fine on the farm.
Okay.
We have Austrian pine growing in Medicine Hat that are probably 50 years old, no more like 65.
Okay.
And those are Zone 5 trees as well.
Oh,
so
really?
we can push the limits here.
Okay.
And there's microclimates within the city.
Yeah.
Like Riverside is very famous for being able to grow exotic trees, for example.
So I remember when this was just bare land. You had just purchased the land. So what were kind of like your first steps that you needed to take in terms of getting it ready for a tree farm?
Okay, so all of our water comes from the river. The farm is adjacent to the South Saskatchewan. So when we first started, we were pumping with solar because I didn't have power out to where we needed the pump. So we at that time we could pump about 12 gallons a minute. Now we're pumping 200 gallons a minute. So water was the first step.
Yeah.
There's in southern Alberta, there's just not enough water to sustain a tree naturally. So if you're not irrigating even the hardiest of trees, it'll go into decline. It's very hard to get a tree to survive without water. So water was the first step. And then the deer. So down by the river and in the coulees, there's lots and lots of deer. So we had to control the deer. So we needed to establish some fencing to keep the deer out. Okay. Those fences sometimes work good, sometimes not, but we're making improvements as we can.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. All right. How many acres? Did I say that already?
No, but the farm is just over 50 acres. So not all of that is nursery, but that's our total land. With the land that we have set aside for the nursery, on a 5-year cycle, we should be able to support 2,500 to 3,000 trees per year to market. So that's our business model. That's what we're striving to achieve.
Okay.
Okay, so these are Scots pines. This is a pine tree that's native to Northern Europe. They do very well here. They're obviously a cousin of the ponderosa pine.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference because the needles are quite a bit shorter than on a ponderosa pine. So you see these trees quite commonly in Medicine Hat. They also get an orange bark as they mature, and they tend to open up as they mature. But we have specimens in here that are, well, basically 3.5 meters, so very tall, very tall. They're very nice trees. We just love them.
They're beautiful. So again, so how old would this one be?
These trees right now would be approximately 6 years.
Okay.
And you can tell some are taller than others, so there's a little bit of variation in the genetics on how fast they grow.
Yeah.
But you do get quite a bit of growth per year. So this was all growth from last year. And the neat thing about these trees is they keep their needles for 3 years. So there's 1 year of growth, 2 years, 3 years, and then on the inside, there's no more needles.
Oh, wow.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's cool.
Lots of people get concerned because they're worried that their needles are falling off their tree. That's just the way that they are.
Okay.
So that leads to why you can't, people say, well, you can just prune back your tree and keep it small. Well, you can't actually do that.
Yeah.
The trees, they have to be allowed to grow. If
Right.
they don't grow, they don't have new foliage, and they'll go into decline.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
So what, you would take these now? Are these at the
Yeah,
age
these
where
are
they can
these
be
are all
moved?
ready to go. So as long as they're over 200 centimeters, they're ready to go. They sell, most nurseries sell by the foot. We sell by the half a meter. So just the bigger the tree, the more expensive it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
This tree, this is a champion. It's got 2 tags on it. It's starting to drop its pollen now. But it was dug with a 54-inch tree spade. So if you were to buy this tree, we would come to your yard, dig the hole for the tree, bring that dirt back to the farm, come and grab the tree and put it right in the hole.
Okay.
So they have to be transported one at a time. And that's just because it's such a big tree. It needs a substantial root system,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If they're a little bit smaller, then we can put them in a basket, and they'll be in a 40-inch basket.
And so we were just talking earlier about, so someone buys their new home and they want to do some tree planting. Do you come out and kind of help them with that idea of you're going to need this much space for this kind of a tree?
Absolutely. If we're doing a big yard, that's something that we do. On our website, I have a lot of information on the trees, the size at maturity, and how far to space them apart from each other.
Okay.
So it's something that needs to be planned, because sadly in a lot of instances, people that are developing a yard plant their trees way too close together, and then 10 years down the road they have to start removing trees because there's not enough space.
You're right.
So it needs to be considered. Spacing is very important.
Yeah. And then when they come and buy a tree from you, people can come out here to the tree farm, they can kind of walk like we're walking, and
most of our customers come and visit the farm, and we'll go look at several different varieties of trees, and they can pick the ones that they like.
Okay.
That's our business model.
Okay.
We're here to help.
So I saw you and the guys getting this lilac bush getting ready to be transported. Where is he going today?
Okay, so this is a common purple lilac. So this is the lilacs that you see all over the hill and in the older parts of town. We've been planting these trees here for a long time. This tree is going to Lake Peltier, just south of Swift Current, for a fella developing his lake lot. So before this tree leafed out, we went and dug the tree with our tree spade. So we cut all the roots in a cone shape, and then this morning we grabbed the tree and put it in the basket with burlap and tied it up. So this is how we transport the trees. These are 40-inch baskets because they're pretty big for lilac already. Mm-hmm. And then this winter we went through and shaped them all nice, give them a nice aesthetic, pleasing shape. So we're quite proud to to their new home.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They
So
are. They are.
6 years old?
5 or 6,
5
yes.
or 6, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we've had to do some infills in that block, so approximately, yes.
Okay.
Lilacs don't actually grow that fast, and they just are around so long they get big. But on a yearly basis, like if you start one for seed, you're lucky if you can get it this tall in one summer. So it's nice to be able to start with a substantially sized
Absolutely.
shrub.
Yeah, yeah. And so they use it both for wind, I think, aren't they? Like, is
Yes,
it right? Like a wind shelter, and
You can prune them and make an awesome looking hedge. You can let them grow wild.
Yeah.
Just they do spread. Like they'll get basil sprouts, so they do fill in. Like if you planted them every 2 meters, they'll fill in between. You can just plant one in your yard and prune it up nice and have it as a specimen shrub. They're very versatile.
yeah,
And they're hardy and they're tough. The deer don't go super hard on them. They will browse on them a little bit, especially when they're young. I would not describe them as drought tolerant. You have to water them. And I know that from living up on the hill. I had an old hedge, and if I didn't water them, the leaves would start to droop, right?
right.
So
Yeah, yeah.
they like water. But for springtime flowers and the scent of them, they're very hard to beat.
Okay. And so you're going to Swift Current area today. How far do you travel? Will you deliver?
We've taken trees east of Regina. We've gone to Saskatoon, an hour and a half north of Edmonton, lots to Calgary, south of the Cypress Hills. So
Yeah,
all over, wherever folks want our trees, we'll take them.
yeah. Awesome. So now we're in kind of a whole different area of the tree farm. What are these trees?
Okay, so this is the box elder, or more commonly called the Manitoba maple.
Oh,
So these trees grow natively here in southeastern Alberta. They're most often found in riparian zones, so growing beside a creek or beside the river.
okay.
And they're very hardy. They're very tough. They don't mind our winters at all. They're hard to kill actually. So they're good for a lot of folks in a rural setting where you're looking for a shelter belt.
Sure.
So you put these trees on the perimeter of your property to block the wind.
Yeah.
And then on the inside, you can put nicer, more delicate trees. But for a pioneer species, when you're developing land, this is an excellent selection.
Okay.
Its biggest drawback is the box elder beetle, the little black and orange beetle. That beetle is everywhere in Medicine Hat, but its primary, most favorite food source is this tree. Second to that, it's green ash. So that's why we have them all over Medicine Hat, and they're getting into people's homes over the winter and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they are very good though, and they're a good tree because they grow natively here.
Okay. And so how old? I mean, these guys are really tall, but are they also about the age of 6 years?
These trees would be 5 years old.
Wow.
5 years, and they were all planted at the same time, so
Okay.
they're very similar in size. The box elder grows with a whimsical form. It doesn't always grow straight up.
Yeah.
It's very susceptible to wind, influence from the wind. So you'll quite see them with a leaning trunk or a gnarly trunk, or twists and turns into them, which adds character.
So if it could be a shelter belt, then it would be, I don't want to say drought resistant, but it does better, not better, but you don't have to worry as much about water for these guys?
In that instance, the green ash would be more drought tolerant than these trees. They are drought tolerant, but
Yeah.
they do like water.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And besides the beetles, any other pests?
Some folks, all maples make a samara, so this one's very anxious. He's making his seed, so
Yeah.
the little helicopter seeds, right, for the kids. But some people don't like that.
Yeah.
But
Is that the sticky?
they're not sticky. That's in
Oh.
poplars. So
Oh,
this
okay.
is just
Okay.
a seed.
Okay.
So it's something that you have to clean up. But all trees make a mess to a certain degree, right?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just part of having a tree. But this is not a tree for the city. This is more of a rural shelter belt type tree. Okay.
Yeah. We never talked about where the name Rivendell came
Okay.
from.
So we are fans of Tolkien. It's funny because we do get asked where we hide the dwarves and stuff like this. People make fun of us, but Rivendell, Tolkien, he was professor of English at Oxford for a long time, so he understood the meaning of words. So Rivendell means in Old English, river in the valley.
Oh.
So it was.
How appropriate.
Yes, it was appropriate.
So how long did it take you to find that?
The name?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Did you pick and choose a few?
Oh, Atticus, my son and I, we toyed around a couple different ideas, but we liked that one the best.
Okay. Yeah. It is a good name, and it definitely suits the property.
It's suiting, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at it from above, it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. It's beautiful when you come down the road and you just see all the tops of those trees. Like, it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Dylan, we've got two different kinds of trees here now. So what is this one?
Okay, this is the common carigana. This tree comes from Russia. It was brought here a long time ago.
Yeah.
You can see it out in the prairies everywhere where there used to be a farmhouse because there's nice straight lines of cariganas.
Yeah.
It is an actual quite beautiful little shrub. When it flowers, it smells amazing. They're very tough. They're very drought tolerant. The only species that we have that's more drought tolerant than a common carigana is the Russian olive.
Okay.
They are number one for drought tolerance, but these are excellent trees for out in the country, but even in the city, if you prune them up nice, they're a fine specimen. And there's plenty of cultivars that are based on this species that are even more showy.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And do you have other ones than this one, or this is the only one that you have of this?
In our potted section, we have other fancier ones, but out in the nursery, only the common carigana.
Okay. And we will see the potted ones in a while. We will go there?
Perhaps, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what's this guy?
Okay, so these big guys are Brandon elms. Brandon elm is a selection of an American elm that has a very particular vase-shaped form. It always grows with that vase shape. Generally speaking, American elms are very irregular in their growth habit. These are all clones of the same tree, and they all have that same shape. So you see these, the Home Depot parking lot is a perfect example of seeing lots of Brandon elms. That's a good place to go look at them when they're mature. In front of Earl's, there's a very big one. So it goes up and spreads out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these are quite big already. These are so big we have to transplant them with the 54-inch spade, but if you're looking for instant shade, we can definitely accomplish that. They've got to be, they're approaching 20 feet for sure. So.
And again, about 5 years old.
Yes.
Okay.
These ones would be 6 actually.
Okay, yeah.
These ones.
And how old will they get?
These trees?
Yeah.
Oh God, an elm can live for 300 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
elms live a long time.
Make sure when you're planting it that you know
adequate space
where it's going to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So I saw some young men working down there.
Okay.
You have how many employees?
So right now we have a total of 7 people, including Atticus and I, my son and I.
Yeah.
We always hire people from Medicine Hat. They're members of our community, and it's a big deal to us to do that. So far they're usually young men, guys that are willing to work hard, and everything about growing a tree and transplanting a tree is hard work. We definitely work the wheels off these young boys, but they're exceptionally hard-working, good people. And they're down there pulling weeds and dealing with suckers right now.
Okay. And are you always looking for help in the summertime, or what? Absolutely,
we are. It's a matter of how much work we can sustain, though. I know.
Okay. Okay.
I can only employ so many people, I guess, or afford to employ so many people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, when you started this, you were not a tree farmer.
Correct.
You had a different career.
I was in the energy sector. That's how I was able to afford doing all of this.
Okay, so how did you, you were sitting around with Atticus one night and you're like, son, I think we should start a tree farm.
Okay, well, how that came to be is it was bugging me that when we bought the farm, the land, we had some cattle out here at the start with my friend Reed. And then the cattle went to market, and it was bugging me that the land was sitting here not doing anything. So I've always liked trees. Atticus had an interest in trees. At the time, Medicine Hat did not have a functioning tree farm, so it made sense to us to try to learn how to do that. Okay. And at the start, it was very much an experiment.
Yeah.
We bought 800 seedlings, and we thought, well, let's give this a try, and it worked very naturally, so we expanded upon it every year, and now it's absolutely out of control.
And so because you were doing both for a period of time,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And so you've kind of also expanded what you do here so that you can be doing this full time?
So as of last spring, we got so busy I had to retire from my consulting gig and focus solely on the farm. So now we do tree servicing, we have arborist services, we've got a bucket truck, we can go around and prune the trees that we've sold for people. We do that all winter long.
Okay.
We remove great big ginormous trees.
That people don't want anymore?
Correct, trees that are in decline or have died. So we can do all that. We grind stumps, we spray trees, fertilize trees. We started to do a little bit of hard surfacing. Lots of irrigation work. Quite often people will buy a substantial amount of trees from us and then need them irrigated, so we can offer those services as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Good for you.
Anything tree related, we want to help.
You want to do it.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're looking at a tree that I have never seen before. What is this?
Okay, so this is called a Northern Acclaim Thornless Honey Locust.
Okay.
It's a very hardy cultivar of the honey locust that does well in Medicine Hat. We've got 7 winters on these trees.
Okay.
They're exceptionally hardy, so we're very proud to offer them. To me, it reminds me of a tree that grows in Africa.
Yeah.
It's still leafing out, like the leaves aren't fully developed, but
Yeah.
it offers a very open, airy canopy.
Yeah.
So it lets lots of light come through for your grass. You can grow a beautiful grass underneath it.
Okay.
It has a pinnately compound leaf, which is just a whole bunch of little leaflets on a stem. So the actual leaf, the petal is very small, so they blow away in the fall. People really love that.
And so then you have a bare.
Yes.
Okay.
But my point is the leaves are so small they don't like pile up on the ground. They often just scatter.
And so do they grow longer than this?
Yes. So each one of these is technically a leaf. Okay. So this will extend out but the actual petal stays quite small.
Oh, really?
Yes. They're super fancy.
Really pretty.
We have, what's the other one that we have? The sunburst honey locust. It's very nice as well, but not quite as hardy. So the Northern Acclaim is definitely the toughest honey locust that we can grow in southern Alberta.
Okay.
And we have these trees up over 100 millimeters in caliper. This one's about 80, so we even have bigger examples than this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That seems like a really nice, size for a backyard, because it's not going to take up too much space, right?
Absolutely.
But as it grows,
Absolutely.
the height of it creates a canopy type.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really pretty.
We sell these trees in a number 5 pot as well, but for most folks it's a lot of work to get a number 5 potted tree to something like this size with a nice straight stem.
Yeah.
A nice canopy. These trees don't necessarily grow the way that you see them in the nursery. We prune them all to look this way.
Right.
They're shaped that way.
Right.
So it's a lot of work to get a tree to look like this.
With your help, someone can have this in a day.
Correct.
And so when you prune it, that's an interesting comment. So when you prune it this way now, you put it in somebody's yard, does it stay this pruned, or you then help them to kind of
That's a good question, Ina. Young trees are very much like children. If you get them well behaved when they're young, they tend to stay well behaved when they're older.
Yeah.
This tree will still need a visit from your local arborist or us if it's our client to help it along as it ages. But if we were to plant this tree in someone's yard, I would say for 5 years it'll be just fine on its own.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And if you have any even remotely amateur gardening skills, most of it you can accomplish on your own.
Okay.
Once its basic structure has been established, the
Yeah.
tree will just grow.
Okay.
Sometimes,
So again, you will though help people if you plant the tree.
Absolutely.
You will follow up with them and.
Yes, that's how we keep our people busy in the winter. That's something that we very much like to do.
Okay.
We don't. Of course, it doesn't have to be us. Any arborist. There's lots of good arborists in Medicine Hat, but we're definitely happy to help.
Okay. So if you were to, again, talk to somebody who's, purchased a new home, they're thinking about, their landscaping, what's the environmental benefits of trees, shrubs?
Imagine being in the boardroom with the world's most influential C-suite executives, exploring big questions about the economy, AI, and hybrid work. Welcome to C-Suite Perspectives, hosted by Steve Odland, President and CEO of the Conference Board, the ultimate podcast for professionals seeking the truth beyond trending headlines. Cut through the noise and dive into data-driven discussions, unbiased, nonpartisan, and straight from the top. Listen to C-Suite Perspectives and harness the power of trusted insights for what's ahead.
Oh God, well, instinctually humans are attracted to treed areas. Okay, most people don't realize this, but there's all kinds of studies on it. People psychologically prefer an area that has nice, beautiful trees. We're drawn to it, right? It's a survival mechanism that we've evolved to have. So trees provide shelter. They're usually an indication of water, food, prey, animals, and such. So any community that has big, lovely trees is a happier community with more pleasant people. Property values go up, so there's all kinds of benefits to planting trees and having big, lovely trees in your yard. Even just your property value, there's all kinds of stats on that. Like it's a substantial difference if you have a nicely landscaped yard with plenty of trees.
Versus bare. Or in Medicine Hat, we have this horrible trend of yards that are just gravel. Yeah.
So it looks like you're living on the moon. It's low maintenance.
Yeah.
People like that, but it does not provide a calming space to come and relax in.
And I think too, it's still, people say, well, it's low maintenance, but you're still going to get weeds. There's still going to be work that you're going to have to do. And now you got to dig through all the rock to get to the roots of.
And eventually those rocks fill up with blowing dirt.
Yeah.
And it becomes a nasty bed of weeds and
whatever else.
Nastiness, yes.
Okay. Now we're standing beside a tree that actually has flowers on it. What kind of a tree is this?
So this is a Honeycrisp apple tree. So
no way.
This tree makes the same apples that you buy in the grocery store. They do very well here. It's plenty hardy enough for Medicine Hat, and it will make a big juicy Honeycrisp apple.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
And the flowers are pretty.
The flowers are always pretty on fruit trees. They're very showy. You can get about a week out of them. This one's already starting to go in decline, but there's some new fresh flowers. But apple trees are beautiful trees.
So how old does an apple tree have to be before it starts producing the actual apple?
If the tree is fertilized, they do make apples when they're very young. Like even when the trunk is half as big as that.
Okay.
It's not the best for the tree because it's too much weight for the branches.
Yeah.
But this tree is definitely capable of making enough apples to fill your apple bowl on your kitchen island.
And so when does it start? So after the flowering?
Well, after the flowers. So now the bees are going around and cross-pollinating all the trees.
Yeah.
So it has to get pollinated from another apple tree. And then shortly thereafter, it will start forming the palm. So you'll see a little ball on there, on the spur, and it'll just get bigger and bigger up until fall. And it'll start later on in the summer, it'll start turning red from yellow or green, from green rather. And then, after, apples are always best after a little bit of a frost. They tend to sweeten up quite a bit, but the different species do ripen at different points, different times of the fall, early or late summer rather. The hardest part about apple trees for Medicine Hat is keeping the wasps off of your apples, because as soon as the apples start to sweeten up, the wasps will be on them. They'll dig in there because they're a food supply, right? So you always want to have some wasp traps around your apple tree.
So do you have to plant 2 apple trees then to produce the fruit?
You have to have another apple tree within a couple blocks to get cross-pollinated. You don't have to have it in your yard. Like, let's say 3 doors down, your neighbor has a crabapple tree. That's plenty sufficient.
Oh, okay.
You will get higher yields with the more apple trees you have in a small area, but it's not absolutely necessary.
Okay.
If you're out in the country and you don't have a neighbor for miles away, you better have 2. Yes.
Okay, so this is gorgeous. What is this tree?
This is an Ohio buckeye. This is a somewhat rare but becoming more and more popular tree for Medicine Hat. It's exceptionally hardy. It's almost indestructible. It has a brilliant display of spring flowers. The flowers are these flowers are just starting to open up, so they will get more colorful. Another good thing about the Ohio buckeye is the leaves. When you crush them up, they kind of have an oniony, garlicky odor, which the deer don't like. So the deer tend to stay away from these nice supple leaves.
Yep.
It's called the Ohio buckeye because the nuts resemble a buck's eye.
Oh.
That's why. It's called the Ohio buckeye.
Look at that.
Yes. So it does make a fairly big nut that's surrounded by a spiky husk. It's one way to identify the tree. So we recommend having a mulched area underneath these trees and just let the nuts fall into that mulch and just leave it be. Just let it go natural.
And they're not going to start up more trees. They might.
They're actually very good germinators.
Oh.
So if they get anywhere that's in a damp area, they probably will germinate, but yeah. The tree is really quite beautiful.
So, and this is a really large type of tree, isn't it?
I would describe the Ohio buckeye as a medium-sized tree.
So how tall?
I couldn't give you the exact number, Ina, but it doesn't get anywhere near as big as an American elm or a green ash. Okay. Near the hospital on the hill, the biggest trees that I know of in Medicine Hat live there, and they're hardly over the rooftop of the home.
Of the house, okay.
So medium sized.
All right.
They grow with a very round habit. They often look like a soccer ball on top of a post. That's just their growth habit. Yeah. Just like this tree.
And so this one been pruned?
This hasn't been shaped at all. We would have just cleaned off the bottom branches.
Yeah.
But aesthetically, like on the crown of the tree, we did not shape it at all.
Okay.
So this is a very typical shape for an Ohio buckeye.
Yeah. And I bet you lots of trees and birds.
Love them.
The birds would love this.
Yes, absolutely. The bees are, it's full of bees right now. So this tree, Ina, is a snowbird hawthorn. It puts on a very beautiful display of flowers. This particular hawthorn is much tougher, in our opinion, than the Toba hawthorn. This tree was developed in Morton, Manitoba, so it's made in Canada, so to speak. It's a cultivar of the hawthorn, for which there's many different varieties of hawthorn, but this one does well, and it has a beautiful flower. They say it is thornless, but it does have a pretty vicious, it lives up to its name, let's just say it that way.
Yeah.
So when you're gardening around this tree, you have to watch out.
Be careful.
That's
beautiful.
It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
And so that one too, is it pruned or it kind of naturally grows?
Okay. Hawthorns kind of grow very wild-like, so they have to get pruned if you want to keep it in a nice shape.
Yeah.
They have very bad growth habits, so they do need a lot of maintenance.
Okay. So is there any trees that you would say not to plant in Medicine Hat or area?
Yes, we have 2 trees that we're not big fans of. One is the Siberian elm, which it's almost impossible to find now. But in the old days, it was widely distributed by the government as shelter belt trees. The tree is highly problematic. It gets big clusters of dieback and just doesn't look nice. Yeah. There's still a lot on the hill, and we spend a lot of time removing those trees. Okay. The other tree we don't really recommend to anybody is the hybrid poplar. And the only reason for that is after 20-25 years, the tree starts to go into decline and loses big branches. The top of the tree will just die back. But by that time, they're massive trees,
Okay.
and it costs a lot of money to
get rid
remove
of
them.
them.
So
Okay.
we definitely prefer the Plains cottonwood, the Sargent cottonwood, the native cottonwood or poplar that grows here in Medicine Hat over any hybrid poplar, because they can live for well over 150 years.
Okay.
So-
And be healthy.
And be healthy.
Yeah.
It will require maintenance, but the whole tree is not going to be dead in 40 years.
Right. And the Russian olive. So I always thought that the Russian olive was a shrub, but it's really not. It's a tree as well.
It's definitely a tree. I might get some flack for saying this, but we're big fans of the Russian olive. There's a movement trying to have it declared an invasive species.
Yeah.
And granted, it is invasive, especially if there's water. It does outcompete every other tree, but we're proponents of trees. I'd rather have trees than have nothing.
And it smells beautiful.
Without a doubt, in flower, the Russian olive is the nicest smelling tree that we have on the nursery.
Yeah.
It smells better than anything else, hands down.
Yeah.
It's very, very sweet and pungent. It's very much like a lady's perfume. I mean it. Like it's well, way sweeter than that.
Oh,
you can smell it from like a long ways away.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't flower long. The flowers are just petite. They're so small, but the scent is amazing. But that tree is by far the hardiest tree that grows in this climate.
Okay.
Okay.
What's your most rewarding thing that has happened on the tree farm? Or what are you the most proud of?
Oh, well, we like to help people build beautiful yards and make our communities more verdant and have nice green areas. That's like, this is semi-arid desert again, so having trees is a good thing. That's what we're here to do.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You do a good job of it too.
Thank you.
Beautiful. All right. So now we're in the potted area of the tree farm. So Dylan, because they're potted, does that mean that they're younger?
Okay, so in a lot of cases for our clients, we can't get, let's say, the skid steer into their backyard because of fences.
Okay.
So we try to offer large trees that are in pots that we can carry in by hand.
Okay.
So these are all trees that are bigger than what's commonly found at the big box stores. So we have options for folks.
Yeah.
So we put them in these big air pots. These pots actually come from Italy, and grow them as big as we can. Usually they sell before I can get them to the size that I want them to, but we're expanding every year, trying to get more and more stuff.
Okay.
So these are actually our second biggest pot, but that tree is already close to 40 millimeters in caliper, so that's a big honey locust.
Yeah.
Beside it is a tulip tree, believe it or not, and a ginkgo next to it. That the ginkgo is just starting to bud out now.
And
They're
the
very
tulip
slow.
tree too. There's a little bit of And the
It-
flower will look like a tulip.
It does. They're absolutely phenomenal trees, but they're not found. Like, I can't think of one single tulip tree in Medicine Hat. No.
Yeah.
I don't know of any ginkgos neither that we haven't planted.
And then this is a maple here.
These are all maples here.
Yeah.
So they're at different. This particular maple came from Manitoba, so it's a little bit behind. This tree spent the winter at our farm, so it's just starting to wake up.
Okay.
So these trees are still developing their leaves.
So somebody comes out, they want to buy a tree from you.
Okay.
Take us through kind of like the steps then of what you do.
Well, if they have not been to our website, I will invite them out to the farm to have a look at the different trees that we have, depending on what size they want. So first we'll start with, are they asking for a conifer tree or a tree with leaves, a deciduous tree? Do they want a fruit tree, a flowering tree, a big tree, small tree? We'll ask those basic questions and hone in on what they're actually looking for.
Okay.
Quite often though, once they walk through the farm, they've totally changed their mind and they like that tree. So we just offer a lot of different options, and we say jokingly, the tree will call to you.
Okay.
The tree that you're looking for will call to you, but it's kind of funny because it seems that that's actually how it works.
Okay.
On the website, there is a lot of resources. We're trying to add to it as fast as we can to help people decide. Like, they want to know how big the tree is, what its fall color is. So we have a lot of information there.
So then they pick their tree. You then take the tree to their house, or if it's like this, they can take the tree to their house?
So there's a lot of options there, Ina. Sometimes the client will want to do it themselves. Sometimes they'll just, we'll load up this tree, put it in their truck, and we'll never see him again.
Okay.
Sometimes their landscaper will come to the farm and pick up the trees.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll hire us to bring the tree to their home and they'll plant it. Sometimes we do all the work.
Okay.
So we do prefer to plant our own trees to just ensure that it's done proper and the tree has the best chance of surviving.
Yeah.
But we work with the client, whatever they want.
Okay.
But in actuality, like a tree this big, that's beyond the means of most people. Like they don't want to tackle it.
I could not dig that hole.
Correct, and they can't carry the tree neither.
Yeah.
They don't want to, and it won't fit in a regular pickup truck.
Yeah.
So we'll help in any way that's necessary. Same with the calliper trees. We have country folks with access to tractors and skid steers, and they'll do it all themselves. But for most people, like the trees weigh 500 pounds, so you can't realistically do it without equipment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're here to help in whatever is required.
Okay.
And it starts with selecting the tree. The planting process is dependent on the tree that you pick.
Okay. So what's your vision? Like this is, I feel, huge. What's your vision for the tree farm? Are you happy where you're at? What do you...
Oh no, we're very much still in a state of growth. We have to get our tree numbers up, and we're developing people. So we're on a trajectory that is heading the way we want to be, but basically we want to be a one-stop shop for trees and tree service work. So if you're looking for a tree in southeastern Alberta, we want to help you make that decision on which tree is best for your yard, how many trees to plant, and how to plant them. Okay. So we want to be able to offer all of those services to people and develop a beautiful yard. We definitely want to specialize in the large trees. We want to be able to bring trees to people's yards that are already 20 feet tall and up to 120 millimeters in caliper, so like a big tree, 5 times as big as that tree.
Okay.
We want to be able to do that, and we're on our way to being able to accomplish that. We took a tree to the Medicine Hat golf course last night that was an American elm and 120 millimeters in caliper. Wow. It's a big tree, right? Yeah. And that's what they want. They don't want to start with a little tree like this.
Yeah.
What else can I say about that? The arborist work is definitely picking up. We were exceptionally busy this winter, so we were very, very happy about that, and very pleased to be helping folks prune their trees, remove their trees, grind the stumps, and get ready for a replacement tree in the spring. So that's awesome.
So it's a real seasonal, like it's a year-long job, but very specific jobs at specific seasons.
That is correct. That is very much correct, Ina. A lot of the pruning can get done year-round, but some of it's best to do when the tree is dormant.
Okay.
We plant trees all summer long. That said, spring and fall are usually the best time. Yep. Some of the trees actually prefer to be dug in the fall rather than in the spring. So there's different stages, just like the seasons. There's different jobs for different parts of the year.
So you talked about your the inventory and people going to your website. What is your website?
You can find us at Rivendell Tree Farm.ca.
Okay.
You can give me a call. It's just me answering the phone. Sometimes that's a bit of a problem, but when we're busy working, I'm still very much with the crews getting the work done, so I can't always answer the phone. So it's for a customer to reach out, check out our website. There's a contact form on there with their email address, or you can call. And then this time of the year, we have clients come out to the farm in the evening, or weekends are best.
Okay.
I try to stay at the farm on the weekends so we can show folks all the trees and help them decide what's best for them.
Okay. Where are you located? How do people find the farm?
So again, on our website, I've got a nice map with directions, but basically we're 2 turns past Eccledale Park.
Yeah.
Down the Wholesome Road, go past Eccledale, take your second right-hand turn and head north down to the river and you
Valley.
can't miss us.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know the Range Road 70 as the Wyber Road. It
Yeah.
used to be called the Wyber Road. So that's where we're
That's
we're
where
at.
you are.
Yes.
We are so fortunate to have such a beautiful tree farm so close to town. I love it. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your time. I think those lilacs need to get to Swift Current.
Yes, we got to get
You
on
gotta
it.
get them on. Okay,
Thank you.
thanks so much.
Thanks, Anna. Thank you.
Hey, this is Brian again, and I'd like to ask you to do a favor. We can't do this work without people like you, so if you can, please like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about Bring Back the Porch.